And we're live. Yes, we have some sort of picture.
Yeah.
I think they should be all right. Hello, folks. Hello, Travis.
G'day, mate.
Ladies and gentlemen, or lady and lots of gentlemen, which is usually the case. Story of my life. We have Travis Winters with us now.
Hello.
Travis is a blueser. That's the technical term.
A blues man.
A blues man, and he's got a band called the Travis Winters Band.
Yep.
And a new record
Yep.
out called Shovel.
Or the dirt. The shovel or the dirt.
Shovel or the Dirt.
Tell
What
me,
is
people.
that? Is this? I feel like you're in a cemetery, and it's a Clint Eastwood movie or something, and you're
Yeah.
giving me an option of,
Yeah.
but I'm going to end up dead, killed by the blues.
Killed by the Blues.
Is this right? How did you come up with that title?
It's actually a reference to marriage. Like,
Okay.
and digging.
Uh-oh.
You cut. But it's. Am I doing the digging or am I being dug? Like, am I being dug on? Like,
Yes.
which part of the equation am I in this whole scenario? Like,
Cool, man.
And it's tricky, and it's just about the tension that we have in our lives between what we do. And I freak people out when I say it's about marriage and relationships and all that
Yes.
kind of stuff.
Yes.
But that's what it is. It's that tension between the agency that we have. Do we have agency to dictate what we do as a shovel? Like, are we
Is
doing the
that
digging, or are we just being dug on?
Is that the theme throughout the record?
No. The record's like a thematic soup.
Yes. Well, we'll talk more.
It's a smorgasbord.
Well, I have to say, I had a listen again the other night, and
thanks,
I
man.
had a listen a few months ago when you sent me some initial tracks.
Yeah.
And now I've had a listen on Spotify.
Yeah.
I have to ask you about the mastering and what's been done, because
Sure.
it was pretty good the first time I heard it.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, wow, okay.
Sounds good.
That's like international quality.
Oh, really? Like
From
it?
the Colonel. Two thumbs
thank
up.
You. Oh, thanks, man.
It's a little bit Tom Waits
Yep.
meets our own Chris Wilson
Oh, wow.
with a little bit of Hendrix sometimes.
Oh, that's a huge call.
Is that cool?
Wow.
I like that.
That's,
Is that what?
that's
Is
a lot to live up to.
worth the $50?
That's a lot to live up to.
I was really impressed, man. I mean, the
thanks.
mix is great. And
Well,
where did you record it?
We recorded at Crosstown Sound Studios in Preston. Josh Whitehead.
Yes.
Hi, Josh. How you going? Huge thanks.
Thank you.
Josh Whitehead did the engineering and recording at
Yep.
his studios, and he got a wonderful sound. Part of the comfort there. The comfort there was my bass player and drummer had recorded with him before, and he was a
Yes.
fan of that rhythm section.
Yep.
Like, he had recorded those drums, and it's like, I love your drum sound,
Yep.
and it's something he finessed and made sure was really, really good.
Yep.
And then I took it to Robert Dillon, who won an award a couple of years ago for Lloyd Spiegel's album. So he'd mastered Lloyd Spiegel's album,
Great player. Amazing.
he was a referral, so go and see Robert, and he'll master your album, and it'll sound great.
That's awesome.
And we went back and forth a couple of times because I got some feedback from Josh, and Josh was like, really, don't want to lose that bottom end. Like, I put a lot of effort into making sure that bottom end is big.
It sounds fat.
Don't lose that.
Definitely sounds fat.
And we
It's
just kept,
creamy.
we tweaked it.
Creamy.
Yeah.
Like it.
It's
Sweet, man.
Juicy.
Well-
The other thing I like about the album, it's got a nice little culinary. There's a bit of a not in the lyrics, but it's juicy, it's creamy, it's like it's got some thick gravy to it.
It's
got
the
some spice.
carbonara of Melbourne blues.
No, carbonara it's like a gumbo. It's a gumbo.
It's a
Melbourne.
gumbo.
Come on, man, you got to take to Louisiana.
Well, wait a second. Melbourne's bluesy.
Melbourne is bluesy, but it's not like the blues of Melbourne is not a carbonara.
No.
It's more like a gumbo. It's like a jambalaya. It's more like a spicy sauce.
Like a jambalaya. Is that Cuban or
Jambalaya is Creole. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I like. Well, look, I really like the last track on it, and weirdly enough, when I had Neil Hawker, and I liked the last track on his too. I don't know what it is about last tracks. I can't remember the name of it, and you just showed me. I played it before, and you said it's kind of like a bit more like this, but.
And gives us a bit more muscle. Ready to change?
I love it. Hello, I'm loving that. That's cool, man. How'd you come up with that little funky riff? And instead of going, so for those folks who tuned in, and thank you for those sparkling Telecaster Savagery style licks.
I love this.
Superb.
It's a good guitar.
That is. That's a custom shop Journeyman relic in grape sparkle, if you're wondering. It's a little bit darker in the studio here, but on camera it's a bit lighter because we've got the lights on it. But
it's really, really cool.
It's a lovely machine. So
it's got a little bit of blues and a little bit of Prince all mixed into one.
That's what you've named. When I look at you, I think Prince.
Prince.
When I hear you, I'm thinking Prince.
Yeah, 6 foot tall. Fat.
It's a blues in E.
Yes.
All right, with a cool riff.
Yep.
Goes to a B.
The classic B7 goes to
and
B.
then
minor 6.
Yeah, C sharp minor to a D major.
Yep.
Why did you go there? Is there just something you like the sound of, or
the effect? The effect that it adds for me is it's pulling you forward. It's always pulling you forward.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't resolve, and it kind of always creates tension. So every time you sort of loop through those 12 bars or whatever, it just creates that extra tension, which is good. And on the track, it just builds and builds and builds and builds until you wind up, far off this planet.
That's awesome, man. I love it. I am someone who has trouble soloing over blues changes. I will admit it. That's a very not happy to admit weakness, but I will do it live. How do you look at soloing over a change? So are you?
Oh God, no.
Is it more an ear thing, or?
Yeah, I'm a clumsy ox when it comes to soloing over changes, and I was worried that you guys ask me something like this today, because right now, because I've been watching Neil Hawker's Blue Snacks.
Yes.
I've been watching what else? Guys like Tim Pierce's guitar stuff, and just taking in heaps of this music theory stuff and thinking more about my playing. It's actually made things worse. So it's like I feel like I've been bounced out of my normal groove, which is what I wanted, but I haven't really bounced back into a thing yet. I've got like a whole bunch of ideas all over the place. And I know that there's a lot of possibilities when you're playing over changes and what you can do and what you can articulate. Picking out your thirds, picking out your fifths, picking out your sevenths, and all that kind of stuff as well.
It sounds great what you're doing.
Yeah.
But are you mainly thinking, because that's a blues in E, you're thinking E blues, or do you do a little bit of E major blues?
Yeah.
A little bit of both.
So my music teacher sort of told me that I could move. If you can move gracefully between your minor pentatonic and your major pentatonic, you get enough spice and flavour to really broaden that palette and broaden your musical options, which is cool. And if you listen, you'll find stuff that works and what doesn't work. So I'm always listening, and I know that and the difference between a note that works and a note that doesn't work is a semitone.
Yeah.
Right.
Fair enough.
So if you move,
Good point.
If you move forward or backwards a semitone, you're going to be fine. It's just going to resolve better, and you'll be okay, and you can move on from there to something more comfortable.
Cool.
So that's what I'm playing with at the moment, and that those changes, the B7 to the C sharp, -7 to the D, that you can pick up a few of the E major. You can play around the E major scale and pick up a few of the little notes and.
Well, I mean that's that's an odd one for me because C sharp minor to D. Like that's straight out of A major for me.
Yeah.
So
if you played in A major over that, like if you do that, you play in A major over this change, like you'll.
Oh, over the whole, yeah.
Here we go. Oh, sorry, I lost it. Go again. Yeah, it sounds good.
It sort of fits it, but I still, look, I honestly prefer what you're playing. And how do you get your technique? I think I hear some Mark Bolan in the next room. How do you get your technique? Because there is some savagery going on.
Sure.
And I look at the guitar, and the guitar's looking up and going, "Daddy, help me!" But
stop wielding me like a.
But it sounds killer. Sounds killer.
It's either a touch or a lack of touch. Like for me, I love. So I grew up really loving Clapton. I love Clapton, and my favorite Clapton is early Blues Breakers Clapton. And I think one of the things that to keep name dropping, honk the horn, to keep name dropping, Greg Koch. The thing I love most about Greg Koch is he plays with that level of intensity. So a standout riff for me is that a Soft Blues Breakers.
Oh, I love that.
You're going to be my little girl. Yeah.
How does that go?
And that's great. Yeah. You can't phone that in. You can't phone playing that riff in. It has to be like with fire and with intensity.
Yes.
And as he played through Cream, as Clapton played through Cream, he got really just so much fire. But as he hit albums like 461 Ocean Boulevard, he was like, way mellow. He just entered a whole bunch of mellow years.
Totally mellow.
And it wasn't until, say, one of his albums, I think Journeyman. Journeyman was an album that he released. Mid-90s, early 90s. And then he did From the Cradle.
Right.
And then he still, From the Cradle was like, oh my God, this guy's still got all that fire. And it just sounds amazing. Like
he's always had the blues influence, but it seems like from the mid-90s he's really gone back to the Robert Johnson roots, whereas the 70s he had to have a pop song out. So he'd take a J.J. Cale or he'd write a,
and I think J.J. Cale, J.J. Cale's influence on Clapton really softened him. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it softened him a lot, and he lost a lot of that, or he chose not to play with that intensity anymore.
Yes.
And which means that to get that, you watch guys like Greg Koch and the way that he plays, and that level of just attack and intensity in every note, it can be unrelenting. It can come on you like an absolute hurricane. But it's such a great differentiator, because you see a lot of blues players in Melbourne, and they can play really well, but because they can't vary that attack.
Absolutely.
It's very, very soft, very gentle.
I mean, look, this is the great thing about the interweb and YouTube and as such is, you do get to see these American guys like basically live, whereas previously you'd have to buy a magazine. I mean, when I was growing up, you'd buy a magazine. If you were lucky, it might come with
read about it.
You'd read about it, and there'd be a picture, and it's like, oh, well, maybe I'll get that VHS tape, or came with an LP or something. There's a few people who have joined us. My cousin Daniel Lalance is on from Quebec.
Hey, mate.
We will say bonjour to you, sir, in Quebec, and I will swear in French Canadian, tabarnak. They love that over there. Bryce Skidmore's on. Do you know Bryce? Bryce is a friend of Mr. Rick Wong's. Drums at Blues Jam occasionally, here and there. So, now, out in the woods there before, I heard you doing a
Oh, yeah,
something,
yep,
a
yep.
semitone sort of
Yep.
blues thing. What are you doing there? Is it just a... Now, if I'm thinking, right, so you go to... Right.
This is where I love to play those Albert Collins style stuff. All right, man. Where he's got his like.
Oh, you right? Okay. That's impossible.
I was thinking about his blues snacks. His blues snacks at the moment, where he's talking about the seventh, where you only need to play those two notes, and that's why this thing works. It's because you just.
That's actually out of.
That's cool.
That's I think that was awesome.
Thank you.
That was very cool.
Thank you.
That little is if you watch the Robin Ford DVD, Blues something or other. It's got blues in the title. It's on that DVD as well.
Oh, cool.
I remember I watched it a long time ago and I thought, oh, that's kind of cool. I love that idea. So when we're playing that, I mean, you know, again, I'm getting a little bit lost and kind of finding my way back into it, but you kind of don't really have a bad note, sir. It all kind of works quite well. I don't know about the slapping, but everything else is like sweet.
I know that's loose as a goose. That's something I'm working on.
Bryce Skidmore says, a bit of winters on a rather hot Melbourne afternoon.
Oh, that's clever.
That's very clever. He is very clever. Hi, Bryce. So what are you doing? Like when we're playing over that change, are you mainly thinking sort of C blues? Are you?
Yeah, totally.
Yes, okay.
Totally C blues. Totally C blues.
What
I try to think in that kind of style, I'm thinking, what would Albert do? Like, what would Albert Collins do? Like, what could I do?
Sponsored by Mountain Goat.
Yeah, thank you. She's excellent. I think what would Albert do, and what from his grab bag can I draw on to play? And I do that in the most inarticulate, like jumbly kind of way. So it's like I've listened to a lot of Albert Collins. I love that sound. I love that again. I love that attack. I love that vibe.
That Iceman sound.
That Iceman sound. What can I do to bring in that Iceman sound that is just a nod and a wink, but completely my own?
Yeah.
And play it safely around the blues scale.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
It works, man. It's unbelievable. Now, and I sort of feel when I get someone like yourself in, Travis, that my jazz noodling, my weakness of the blues, but it improves me because I sort of play with you and I hear you playing. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, right, I see, right, okay, stop noodling so much, Colonel, and let some fire come out.
Yeah, a little fire come out. Yeah,
a little fire came out there. Travis, what is happening with this album? Where are we playing it?
Yeah,
where am I coming to back you up as a rhythm guitar player? Where you've got a launch coming up.
Yeah, we're going to launch at the Union Hotel Brunswick.
Lovely.
On the 14th of April.
14th of April in Melbourne here.
Yeah, that's
excellent.
Right. So we'll be, and it's like in the neighbourhood for me. It's like so close to home. It's not funny.
Yeah.
And it's thanks to Jared and thanks to Nina at the Union for letting me have a little spot.
Thank you.
And yeah, it should be a good night. I'm still hustling, trying to get the horn section to come on board.
Yes. Are they the same guys that Neil's using, or different guys, or?
If Brett, who plays baritone sax, who played sax and baritone sax on Neil's album, will come over, there'll be that connection. But it's Miles Izzo and Alex Highwood. Forgive me, Alex. Alex and James McLeod, I think James, and those guys will come on, and they're wonderful. They're the Pickpocket horns. Those guys play with a band, Melbourne band called Pickpocket. It's a bit of a
Pickpocket.
Yeah, those
getting
guys.
Mr. Jason Liakos in here. Maybe next weekend or something.
He's
I think
a great player.
Yeah, he's crazy good too.
He's a great player.
You all guys, all you guys are great, and I will come and stand in the front row and try and throw things on stage and distract you. Should just bring you back to normal human levels, people. This is what you need to do.
They're great. Kudos to Craig Strain for pulling that band together.
He's the
Craig's
bass player.
He's the bass player, and it's his vision. So much kudos to Craig for what he's achieved. And the album. Did you know the story about how the album? A lot of that material he wrote when he was stranded in Canada. He was playing cruise ships and all that kind of stuff. And my understanding is that he wrote a lot of that material isolated in Canada and just had time in his hands and a lot to do. So do a lot of that work. Look, that could
That's
just be a
great.
crazy
That's
story. Or it could just be like something I heard.
Yes.
Could be something I made up, but
Yes.
I doubt it. I think the story behind that music on the first album is pretty cool. And
He has a bass podcast or
Bass Lessons Melbourne.
Is that it?
Yep, Bass
I think
Lessons
Neil
Melbourne.
was mentioning this. So he gets. He's had a few famous bass players come in.
Yeah.
I think one of the guys from Tower of Power or something came.
Yeah.
Is that right?
One of the guys. The guy.
The guy.
The guy.
Is there only the one guy?
Yeah.
It's still the same guy.
Rocco Prestia.
All right.
Rocco
That's him.
Prestia.
Okay. Wow. Amazing. I was telling Neil when he was here that my Alan Holdsworth story, and I kind of know a guy who met him here in Melbourne. He played on Alan's first record. He lives here in Melbourne, so we're trying to hook them up to put him on the show.
Oh, cool.
It's an old guy from England, and it's got some great stories about all
Awesome.
the record labels and stars of the day and whatnot. But
Do it.
Travis, I reckon that'll do us, man. Thank you so much
One
for
more.
coming in.
There's
Yes.
one more song I reckon we should play over, which is the Shovel of the Dirt.
Shovel of the Dirt. Show me how it
the
goes.
reason I like it is
Yes.
because you could play over it in a melodic minor, and it sounds amazing.
Ooh, okay.
So,
What
A.
key?
A.
Minor.
To the 5.
You're making that 5 a major.
Yeah. Alright, here's what I do. When you go the solo, you pick up the 4. Ready? Back to the root. Back to the 4. Back to the root. One more time. Now to the 5. And now the shovel of the dirt. Do you want to try that solo? You do it?
Sure.
To the 4.
That was an A melodic minor. I didn't like the sound of the.
Alright, to the 4.
playing? So you're playing A melodic minor over that?
Yeah.
So for folks who have tuned in, A melodic
I think
minor
I am.
has
I'm trying.
A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, A.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yes.
That's right. So you're playing that over the 4?
Yep. Again, as much as I try to invoke like music theory, I'm actually trying to invoke a human. I'm like trying to invoke Marc Ribot.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, right.
And like it's just I don't know, try and invoke someone rather than music theory.
Yeah. I mean, for me,
you have to study the music theory and understand what they're doing. But again, it's much like, can I inhabit that persona for a while?
Well, it kind of works, but technically, that scale, harmonically, I think goes. It's a D7. When you put the minor in, it's kind of I like it. You can put a harmonic minor over that as well, which is the Spanish.
Yeah.
Key, the Spanish minor.
That's where you're at.
That was awesome. Beyond the call of duty.
Thanks,
Thank
man.
you, sir.
Thank
Ladies,
you so much.
Lady and lots of gentlemen, if you want to do yourself a favour and grab another great Australian-made blues album, it's Travis Winters, grandson of Johnny Winters and nephew of Edgar. And his album is called
The Shovel or the Dirt.
It's the Shovel or the Dirt.
Go
and get it now. Thanks, man.
Thank you so much.
We'll do it again soon.
Thanks, Colonel.
Thanks, folks. Bye.